From the moment nutrients flood the small intestine, our liver stands poised to manage an immense biochemical burden. In the microscopically thin hepatic sinusoids, lined by hepatocytes, interspersed with Kupffer cells and hepatic stellate, cells an orchestra of enzymes and signaling pathways governs every molecule as fate. Yet today, this once unassailable organ faces unprecedented challenges. The global proliferation of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease now affects up to 1 in 4 adults worldwide, silently progressing in many to non-alcoholics. Advanced pathophysiology of fatty liver. Acetyl-CoA, which fatty acid synthase then polymerizes into In robust clinical trials, subjects consuming 200 grams per day carbohydrates showed a threefold increase in DNL gene expression within 4 weeks. Hepatic steatosis and de novo lipogenesis. Under insulin's influence, hepatocytes convert surplus glucose into acetyl-CoA via lipotoxic intermediates. Excess palmitate and other saturated fatty acids can form ceramides and which trigger endoplasmic reticulum stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, and activation of C-Jun N-terminal kinase. These cytokines recruit circulating monocytes, perpetuating a low-grade inflammatory Initially, pancreatic beta cells hypertrophy and hypersecrete insulin. Eventually, oxidative stress and amyloid deposition lead to beta cell apoptosis and impaired insulin reserve. Chronically, this fosters hepatic stellate cell activation, extracellular matrix deposition, and inflammation and immune activation. Clinical cohorts with elevated LPs have a 50% greater risk of rapid fibrosis progression over 5 years. Kupffer cells and cytokine storm. Lipid overload sensitizes Kupffer cells, the liver's resident macrophages, to release TNF-alpha IL-1 beta and MCP, gut-liver axis. Increased intestinal permeability allows lipid to translocate into portal blood, further inflaming Kupffer cells via toll-like receptor for signaling. Insulin resistance and pancreatic dysfunction, beta cell workload, and failure hyperinsulinemia's role. Persistent postprandial hyperglycemia requires escalating insulin secretion. Metabolic inflection point. Once hemoglobin A1C exceeds 6.5%, pancreatic capacity plunges, and hepatic insulin resistance intensifies, creating a vicious cycle of hyperglycemia and clinical markers to monitor. Homeostatic model assessment of insulin resistance. A baseline HOMA-IR greater than 2.5 often predicts progression to NASH. Reducing HOMA-IR by 1.0 via diet or medication correlates with a 30% improvement in oral glucose tolerance test. Impaired glucose tolerance frequently coexists with elevated liver fat on MRI spectroscopy. Hello everyone, I'm here from and today we will discuss about the management of fatty liver disease. Our standard protocol entails macronutrient rebalancing, phytotherapy, and nutraceuticals plus physical exercise. But this time we will be focusing mainly on nutrition and phytotherapy, so let's get started. First, we have macronutrient rebalancing, particularly low carb, high fat. Several mechanisms underpin the benefits of low-carb, high-fat approach. Dandelion is a rich source of bioactive compounds, including sesquiterpene, lactones like tauroxicin, polyphenols, and these constituents contribute to its potential therapeutic effects. These compounds contribute to the potential benefits of lemon consumption. One proposed mechanism involves the inhibition of pro-inflammatory signaling pathways, such as NF-kappa B and mitogen-activated protein kinase (MAP). However, the bioavailability of curcumin is significantly enhanced when co-administered with 5 mg pip, a compound derived from black pepper. This combination can elevate curcumin bioavailability up to In a study, daily supplementation with 2 grams of curcumin for 12 weeks resulted in a 40% decrease in serum, C-reactive protein, CRP, add curcumin, and piperine supplementation. Include a 30-minute interval training session 3 times a week. Monitor liver enzymes with rapid test strips, which are available as home kits. This phase intensifies the anti-steatotic measures while incorporating interval training for improved cardiovascular fitness. And an improvement in steatosis grade on ultrasound in patients with non-alcoholic NASH. Replace some refined fats with roasted dandelion root. Daily, 15 minutes of yoga or stretch can help manage stress and promote relaxation. Evaluate weight, waist circumference, and subjective energy levels. This approach personalizes the dietary plan while maintaining the focus on low-carb, high-fat principles. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in our upcoming videos. Stay healthy. These findings highlight the potential benefits of turmeric in managing liver health. Rotate dandelion, ginger, lemon, and turmeric in the herb infusion daily. Incorporate 45 minutes of mixed cardio strength training. Monitor changes in comprehensive blood panels, including liver enzymes, lipids, and complete blood counts. This comprehensive approach integrates diverse dietary components, promoting a balanced and varied nutrient intake, while continuing to prioritize low-carb, high-fat principles. By reducing inflammation, ginger helps alleviate liver damage and promotes a healthier metabolic state. Additionally, ginger has been shown to enhance gallbladder contraction by 35%, as confirmed by ultrasound, facilitating bile flow and aiding in the emulsification and digestion of dietary fats. One proposed mechanism involves the upregulation of mitochondrial complex I and II activity in liver and muscle tissues. This enhances mitochondrial respiration, improving the efficiency of energy production and reducing the burden on the electron transport chain. Now let's integrate these natural approaches with lifestyle modifications. Day 1, 2, 3. We start with eliminating refined carbs. While beginning low-carb, high-fat, each day, drink a glass of lemon water in the morning and aim for a 20-minute brisk walk. Keep a diary to monitor fasting, glucose, mood, and appetite. This foundational phase sets the stage for reducing hepatic stimulation. By supporting efficient energy metabolism, lemons indirectly help in mitigating hepatic stimulation. Additionally, the alkaline mineral buffer provided by lemons can help neutralize tissue acid, which is commonly observed in fatty liver disease. Calculate HOMA-IR to assess insulin resistance and maintain a bowel habit log to monitor changes in stool frequency and consistency. This approach combines dietary diversification with targeted exercise, promoting both metabolic and gut health. This can create a more favorable environment for fat metabolism and reduce the accumulation of fat in the liver. One proposed mechanism involves the stimulation of bile acid secretion through upregulation of the bile salt export pump, BACP, which aids in cholesterol and bilirubin elimination, thereby reducing their hepatic accumulation. Additionally, inulin, a prebiotic fiber present in dandelion, fosters the growth of beneficial gut microbiota, such as bifidobacteria. This promotes a healthier gut environment and reduces lipid. Clinical data from a pilot study showed that 30 participants who consumed 2 grams per day of a dandelion extract for 8 weeks experienced a 25% reduction in GGT, a liver enzyme often elevated in individuals with fatty liver disease. Participants also reported subjective improvements in dyspepsia, suggesting dandelion's potential benefits in managing digestive discomfort associated with fatty liver disease. For instance, a 6-month RCT involving NAFLD patients showed that those on a low-carb, high-fat diet had a 40% reduction in intrahepatic lipid compared to 12% in those on a low-fat diet. Moreover, more patients in the low-carb, high-fat group achieved normalization of ALT-NAST levels, indicating improved liver function. Long-term safety data for sustained low-carb, high-fat intake over 1 year shows no adverse effects on renal function or bone mineral density in carefully monitored cohorts. These findings underscore the potential benefits and safety of a low-carb, high-fat approach when well implemented. First is the ketone production. By limiting carbohydrates to less than 30 grams per day, we shift hepatocytes to produce 2 types of ketone bodies, namely beta-hydroxybutyrate and acetyl. Besides fueling peripheral tissues like the heart and brain, these ketones also exert anti-inflammatory effects. For example, beta-hydroxybutyrate inhibits the activation of NOP, an intracellular multiprotein complex that triggers the release of pro-inflammatory cytokines, such as IL-1 beta. By suppressing the NOP3 ketone bodies help to dampen the inflammatory response in the liver and other tissues. Secondly, downregulation of lipogenic transcription factors. Low insulin and glucose levels achieved through a low-carb diet lead to decreased activity of sterol regulatory element binding protein, SREBP1C, and carbohydrate response element binding protein, CHREBP, which are key regulators of lipogenesis. This results in less fat being synthesized from excess carbohydrates. In addition, low-carb, high-fat can improve insulin sensitivity, which further reduces lipogenic gene expression and promotes fat oxidation. This mechanism helps to limit de novo lipogenesis, DNL, at its transcriptional origins. Overall, these mechanisms contribute to reducing hepatic stimulation. Clinical evidence from randomized controlled trials supports the efficacy of low-carb, high-fat in managing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Next, let's explore our phytotherapy and nutraceutical synergy. We start with dandelion. The next herb is lemon. Citrus lemon. Lemons are rich in bioactive compounds, such as ascorbic acid, hesperidin, and limonoids. Moving on, we have ginger. Ginger contains bioactive compounds like gingerols, shagols, and peridose, which contribute to its potential health benefits. Finally, we have turmeric, curcuma, the active component, curcumin, along with dimethyltryptamine. Incorporating these ERBs into a comprehensive management plan may offer valuable therapeutic support. Our integrative lifestyle protocol provides a day-by-day guide for managing fatty liver disease. Day 4 to 7, we introduce dandelion, twice weekly, preferably in salads, and ginger tea, once daily. Add to resistance training sessions per week. Day 8 to 11, continue with low-carb, high-fat, ensuring full satiety with fats. Day 12 to 14, assess your macros and adjust fats to Day 15 to 21, persist with your macros and refine your micronutrients. And that concludes our discussion on the nutritional and herbal interventions for fatty liver management.
The year is 2045. You're at your local physician's office. Your blood work shows elevated levels of certain liver enzymes, and your abdominal ultrasound reveals fatty liver changes consistent with known alcoholic fatty liver disease. So what happens next? In this video, we'll discuss the latest research trends in terms of the future direction of NAFLD management. We'll touch upon three major areas: adjunctive therapies, emerging pharmaceuticals, and genetic factors. Finally, we'll end with a brief discussion about why early intervention is so crucial. A prebiotic called demonstrated positive effects in a study published in July 2023 in the journal Alimentary Pharmacology and Therapeutics. In this randomized controlled trial, participants with metabolic-associated fatty liver disease were given either 8 grams of Refeed per day or a placebo for 12 weeks. One class of drugs that has garnered significant attention is the fibroblast growth factor 21 analogs. FGF21 is a hormone that has been shown to reduce liver fat and improve insulin sensitivity. A better understanding of the genetic underpinnings of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease has paved the way for more targeted and personalized treatment approaches. Research has identified several genetic variants associated with NAFLD, and these findings are expected to play a significant role in the future of the disease management. Early detection and management are vital due to the potential progression of NAFLD to more severe stages, including non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, fibrosis, and even cirrhosis. The journey to reclaiming your liver's health begins with awareness. Knowledge is the first step towards making informed choices. Consider these sobering statistics. Over 25% of adults in the United States are living with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That's over 60 million individuals worldwide. The numbers are even more staggering, with over 250 million people affected. These figures underscore the global impact of this condition and the urgent need for effective management strategies. Imagine for a moment the silent toll NAFLD is taken, often without noticeable symptoms until significant damage has occurred. The consequences of this silent progression include an increased risk of life-threatening complications such as cirrhosis and hepatocellular carcinoma. Now picture the countless lives that could be transformed if we empower individuals to take control of their liver health. Early intervention can prevent the progression to more severe stages. And with the advancements in treatment options and a deeper understanding of the disease, there's hope for a healthier tomorrow. It is estimated that 20 to 30% of individuals with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease develop more severe forms of the condition. Perhaps a mid-afternoon muffin or a steamy plate of pasta. Realize that every excess carbohydrate molecule is a potential invitation for triglyceride deposition in your hepatocyte. But take heart, your liver's regenerative prowess remains one of the body's most astonishing feats. Provided you relieve its sugar burden, supply the precise enzymatic cofactors it craves, and adopt an integrative protocol, you can reclaim hepatic health and with it, your vitality, metabolic resilience, and peace of mind. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to show your support. Until next time, stay healthy. Moreover, once significant fibrosis develops, typically classified as stage F2 or higher, the 5-year risk of progression to cirrhosis can exceed 20%. Cirrhosis represents a more serious stage of liver disease, characterized by extensive scarring and loss of liver function. Furthermore, as NAFLD progresses, the risk of developing hepatocellular carcinoma, the most common type of liver cancer, increases. In individuals with advanced fibrosis or cirrhosis, the annual incidence of hepatocellular carcinoma can range from 0.5 to 1.5%. These sobering statistics underscore the need for timely intervention. Fortunately, early phytotherapeutic and lifestyle interventions can reverse stage FOF1 steatosis, completely in upwards of 80% of compliant patients within 6 months. This highlights the importance of regular checkups and screenings, especially for individuals at risk of By addressing the condition in its early stages, one can potentially prevent the progression to more severe forms and associated complications. For instance, polymorphisms in the PNPLA3 gene, particularly the I14HM variant, have been strongly linked to the development and progression of NAFLD. The I14HM polymorphism results in the substitution of the amino acid isoleucine with methionine at position 148 of the PNPLA3 protein. Studies have shown that individuals with the I14HM variants are at increased risk of developing severe forms of NAFLD and are more likely to experience liver-related complications. Similarly, polymorphisms in the TM6SF2 gene, such as the E167K variant, have also been associated with NAFLD susceptibility and progression. The E167K variant involves the substitution of glutamic acid with lysine at position 167 of the TM6SF2 protein. This variant has been linked to a more severe form of NAFLD and a higher risk of liver fibrosis. Knowledge of these genetic variations is crucial for risk stratification and early intervention, enabling healthcare professionals to identify individuals who may benefit from more aggressive treatment strategies. Incorporating genetic testing into clinical practice could allow for the development of tailored protocols that consider an individual's unique genetic makeup, leading to more precise and effective management of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. An example of an FGF21 analog currently in phase 2 and 3 trials is tirzepatide, originally developed for the treatment of diabetes. In a study published in July 2023 in the New England Journal of Medicine, tirzepatide was found to reduce liver fat by up to 50% in individuals with overweight or obesity and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Another class of drugs showing promise is the acetyl-CoA-carboxyl ACC inhibitors, such as a drug called lenacatarapine, reduce the production of which regulates the entry of fatty acids into various tissues, including the liver. This mechanism of action is aimed at reducing the accumulation of fat in the liver. Lenacatarapine is currently in phase 2 trials for the treatment of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Positive results from these trials could lead to the approval of ACE inhibitors as a new class of drugs for treating NAFLD. It's important to note that while these pharmaceuticals show promise, they should be viewed as complementary to lifestyle modifications rather than a substitute. Additionally, long-term studies are needed to assess their safety and efficacy. Close monitoring of these trials will be necessary as the treatment landscape for fatty liver disease continues to evolve. The results showed improvements in liver markers, specifically a reduction in liver fat content. While these adjunctive therapies show potential, it's essential to recognize that they are not a replacement for lifestyle modification. Rather, they are meant to complement a comprehensive approach to managing NAFLD. More research is needed to fully understand their roles in treating non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. However, the findings so far are encouraging and suggest that targeting the gut microbiota may be a valuable addition to current treatment strategies. Hello! Welcome back to Hep C. Today we are discussing the future of NAFLD treatment. Let's get started. Adjunctive therapies first. Let us look at some non-pharmaceutical adjunctive therapies that have shown promising results in managing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I'm referring to things like probiotics, prebiotics, dietary supplements, etc. There's been growing interest in the role of the gut microbiota in the pathogenesis of Recent studies suggest that modulating gut microbiota composition and function could represent a new therapeutic strategy for treating non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. One particular bacterium that has garnered attention is Bifidobacterium, a common probiotic found in fermented foods like yogurt. A study published in June 2023 in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition reported that supplementation with bile reduced liver fat, improved insulin sensitivity, and decreased inflammation in adults with overweight or obesity and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Participants in this double-blind, randomized clinical trial were given either a daily dose of 200 billion colony-forming units of bilongum or a placebo for 12 weeks. The bilongum group experienced a significant reduction in hepatic steatosis as measured by liver biopsy. Notably, there was a 50% decrease in liver fat compared to baseline. This suggests that targeting gut microbiota through probiotics like bilongum may hold promise for treating non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Another area of exploration is the use of prebiotics, which are non-digestible food ingredients that promote the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. Emerging pharmaceuticals in addition to adjunctive therapy. There are also several emerging pharmaceuticals that are showing promise in treating non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Genetic factors, finally. Let's discuss the role of genetic factors in the future of NAFLD treatment. The imperative of early intervention. Considering the potential implications of these emerging treatments, it's crucial to emphasize the importance of early intervention for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. As we conclude our discussion on the future of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease treatment, remember that every small step towards a healthier lifestyle can have a profound impact on your liver's health. And now for our final provocation. Reflect on your most recent meals.